Hi, I'm Charlie Ansbach, and this is Comstocks Magazine's series on interviews with entrepreneurs and investors in the greater Sacramento region. Sponsored by Evolution Accelerator. I have the absolute pleasure today of sitting with Destiny Oliphant, who owns and runs a spectacular new company here in the Elk Grove area called Trophy Beauty. And so I'm looking forward to finding out more about her business and her vision for the future of what not only this business, but her life as an entrepreneur and innovator here in our region is like. Destiny, it's fun to be here, just sitting and chatting with you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to have a chat with you as well.
Let's talk a little bit about how Trophy Beauty came into being. How did you arrive at the idea of looking out into the market and saying, it's time to start this kind of a business here in Elk Grove now?
I kind of fell into it. As a young girl, I always knew I wanted to own my own business, specifically a spa or something in the beauty industry. And I was in my late 20s living in Miami. I had a clothing line at that time, and I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Because I didn't really see the clothing line going where I anticipated. So I came to California. I got my cosmetology license so I would know what services are going to be done and how they're going to be performed in the business. And then I also took a community business class, and I started working for a franchise spa company. So as I'm working for the franchise spa, I'm learning the sales and the operation and all the back office so I can take these skills to my future business. Not knowing where I was going to get the money or how this was going to happen, but I was just determined, and I knew that it would. So while I was working at the spa franchise, I kept seeing the word microblading pop up. And I was like, I have to find out more about this microblading thing. So what it is, it's a form of tattooing where you take a microblade to create hair strokes in the person's natural brows, and it lasts anywhere from 1 to 2 years. And why this is amazing is because women are able to wake up, be confident, and don't have to worry about filling in their brows. So it's life-changing for some people. So I learned how to do this in Southern California. And when I was working at my 9-to-5 spa job, I would take the microblading clients on the weekend. And then after a while, I started going from seeing 2 clients, 4 clients, then 6 clients over the weekend. And then one lady, she was like, I'm so glad that I'm getting in with you now because I could see you charging like $1,000 for eyebrows. I was like, no, never. And now I charge $1,250. So I was like,
That's great.
it just really blew my mind of where I was then to where I am now. But to fast forward to how Trophy Beauty became about, after 6 months of doing eyebrows, I was actually doing this in the apartment of my home. Doing that for 6 months, I went out and I found a location and I named it My Beauty Bar. We were there for 2 years, and then I realized it was time to expand, and then I purchased the building that we're sitting in now and named it Trophy Beauty Suites.
Fantastic. Now, is this something you have personally financed and built yourself out of your resources?
Yes. So originally I had some money saved for about 6 months of my original lease at my first location. And just a dream and hope and prayer that God was really going to bring the people to me for this facility. I knew that I could take care of it for the first 6 months, but I just had faith that it was going to work out. I didn't know anyone in the area besides the people I worked with, and they did massage, not beauty services. So I just posted it on different social sites like Facebook, Craigslist, and probably 3 weeks before the grand opening, I didn't have anyone to work in this facility that I'm having a grand opening for. And right at the second week, people started flooding in, and I went from having no employees or no staff or room renters to having pretty much a full space.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So now you enjoyed this sudden influx of unexpected workers and customers. And so how did that day go?
So the grand opening itself went very well. I was able to showcase what each of the service providers did. Like there was a nail artist there. There's actually 2 nail artists. I had a waxer, an eyelash technician, and 2 hairdressers. And then myself, I was doing permanent makeup at the time.
Nice. So the day turned out well.
It did.
You got a staff, you got customers. And Now, some businesses experience an initial flood of interest.
Yes.
Then they go through a time of a desert where, well, that was an initial flow, and now I got to build it again, or I have to build it more. How did it work for you?
I would definitely say that I experienced a little bit of that because, like you said, when you're a new business, you got to get a lot of media coverage and things of that nature. So that's what we experienced. But because I've always trained myself to be have a spirit of excellence in everything that I do, I made sure that I prepared myself as much as possible. I would read motivational books and books like the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. So I'm one of those people. I believe it's my duty, obligation, and responsibility to be excellent and just go at everything at 10X energy. So when we received that little dip, I was going so hard in business that you couldn't really tell because we were growing at the same time.
Very nice. Now, you and I were talking a little bit before coming on camera here that you purchased this building and now you've fostered other enterprises in the space. Tell us a little bit about that. What kinds of enterprises did you invite or grow around you, and how did that happen, and how's that going?
So, expanding on the job creation for other entrepreneurs, how this happened was during COVID, right before COVID, I was in the process of expanding. And I was looking into purchasing a property. So when COVID happened, we stopped looking for about 6 months. And then it took about 8 months to finalize the project of purchasing the building. And here I was able to house up to 8 individual small-owned businesses. Now I have a private training academy where I can teach my classes. And then I have my own suite, and I also have an office. And with this facility, I'm able to rent it out, and people can have small events or gatherings, signings, and things of that nature. So not only helping the entrepreneurs in this building, but entrepreneurs in the community.
Nice. So I'm hearing that you're building your own business, but you're also fostering entrepreneurial opportunities for other people related to your business. Mm-hmm. Where did that come from? Where did that idea or urge come from?
I believe one of the gifts that God gave me was encouragement. And being able to motivate something inside of someone to just be the best version of themselves. So I have the spaces for the suites that are in the building. People utilize this conference room. And I also do business coaching. So for people that are just maybe at a crossroads or they don't know exactly where to take their business next, we schedule coaching, and I normally do 3 to 6 month programs, and I'm able to help them grow their business. So I'm one of those people, I want to see my vision grow, and I need to always be working towards a goal. So the opportunity that I have to work with my mentees to help them do that is amazing.
And speaking of vision then, what's yours for this business and for that kind of that ensemble that you're creating of other businesses around you? What's your vision of where you're headed?
Well, I believe the vision for Trophy Beauty is to expand my territory. So I've recently been looking at opening another location in the El Dorado Hills, Folsom area, somewhere there, or Granite Bay was another place.
Would you ever envision franchising your model and spreading it in a broader geographic area?
We looked at franchising, but I think it would be best to just do multiple locations to start with, is what I came up with based on using my own capital, because everything is just built from the business, financial generation.
Very nice. And one of the backgrounds on this, looking way back on the beauty industry, during the Great Depression, the beauty industry was really one of the few businesses that did really well because people wanted a little bit of momentary relief from the otherwise pain they were feeling, and this was an affordable way to look. That was an affordable way to look and feel better.
Right.
So for you, what are you finding is as you grow your business and you're looking at these waves, like right now, we're all talking about are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? What's going to happen? Pandemic is now whatever it's doing, the effects of that are either receding or who knows. But the upshot of it is the beauty industry is there in large part because it makes people feel good. There's a personal confidence, there's a personal pleasure that comes out of the work that you do for your customers. How are you seeing changes, or are you seeing any changes in the motivation of your customers, of why they're coming to you, and what you see coming over the horizon of why they may be coming to you in the future? Any insights on that?
So I believe it's all a part of self-care. So not only are the clients that are coming to me looking for exceptional customer service, but they want to relax, they want to rejuvenate themselves, and also enhance their personal appearance. When you do things like that, you're able to walk more confidently. You have more confidence within yourself. And I attribute that to the 5-star reviews that Trophy Beauty has of so many people saying how much more confident they are, or their husbands giving them compliments, or their kids saying they look like supermodels now. So I know that the service and the experience that I'm creating here is something that's not going to go away.
Oh, very good. Very good. Now, so again, I'm going to loop back just a little bit. If you need capital that comes from, and we're watching as more capital and investors appear here in the greater Sacramento region, is if you need to go to capital, those investors will want to say, project out for me how you're going to grow, how you're going to increase your revenue, how are you going to grow this business. And so for you, again, looping back, how do you see yourself growing this business?
The business model that I've created with Trophy Beauty, it's very solid and it continues to grow year over year. So I see that if we open a secondary location, that it will do the same thing.
Okay. So really it is, I might even envision it as, I might need capital. If I were in your place, I might need capital for this new location.
Correct.
And that location might be what an investment goes into, rather than or in addition to the chain you're beginning to create.
Yes.
Okay. Throw me out forward 5 to 10 years. What do you see the scale of this business that you've created?
Multiple locations. I envision at least a total of 4.
Okay.
Yeah. If we go, yeah.
And in general, what would you project, and based on what you're seeing now, what kind of total revenue does a particular location tend to create?
So I would see for the 4 locations, each one generating at least $1 million.
Okay.
So that would be realistic.
Very, very good. What are the biggest challenges for you, facing you to grow? What stands in your way, if anything?
The only thing that could stand in my way is myself. I'm very disciplined, I'm very regimented, I'm very routine oriented. If I don't do something consistently 2 days in a row, then I know something's off. So I have to go back to the drawing board and I see, like, okay, what are the areas that I need, that have strengths in, and what are the areas that I have weaknesses in? I make a list of these weaknesses. These are now areas of my target. Like, I'm going to be relentless with this to make sure that I improve them. So when I'm mentally, spiritually, and emotionally fit, I know that I can give my business 100%. So I'm committed to exceptional excellence, and that's what I bring to the table for my business. And that's why I've been able to grow so quickly.
Fantastic. Location-wise, in terms of being in Elk Grove, greater Sacramento region, is there any pros and cons about being located here versus you were in other markets before? What are you finding to be the pluses and the challenges of this market?
So I would say for the location that I'm currently in, the plus is we're right off of the freeway, so it's extremely convenient. The minus would be it's a little tucked away, but everyone that works here in this building is a 5-star business, and we pretty much are extremely busy most of the time. So it hasn't really served us wrong being at this location.
How many clients do you serve in a given day?
Probably it depends. When I do my longer services like permanent makeup, those can take 4 hours of block time.
Oh.
So I wouldn't see more than 2 in a day. But then there's some days where I do waxing treatments and that I can have anywhere from 15 to 20.
Fantastic. So we're coming now kind of towards the end of our visit together, and I want to get again, this sense of when I'm sitting and talking with you, and you and I were talking before it and after it, I said to myself, this is a person who's not going to fail. That there's a sense of determination and I know how to get it done and I'm going to get it done kind of sense that we were chatting with.
Yes.
Do you see yourself that way?
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, every week I rate myself on my performance for the previous week, so I'm able to improve for the next week. I rate myself very, very hard if it's on a scale from 1 to 10. Even if maybe it was truly an 8, I probably put myself at a 6. So I'm so hard on myself, like I want everything to be perfect. So it like pushes me to go harder, that perfectionism.
And I want to leave folks with really the image and the clarity that I'm getting sitting and chatting with you and looking around here is the innovation that you've really brought to the region is, first of all, are any of the methods that you're using your own creation?
Yes. Okay, that's a really good question. So I would say what would set me apart would be my training academy. So not only do the students come in to learn a skill that's going to be marketable, it's not only able to help themselves, but they're able to like pour into their community more. So I walk them through the entire process of certification, how to start their job, how to market their job, how to brand themselves, how to do their intake forms, how to find a location. Everything that I had to do, I'm there to assist them and walk them through the process.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure sitting here talking about your business, meeting you, and for those out seeing for the first time, Trophy Beauty is a fast-growing, emerging, innovative company here in our region that I think we can be very proud of and look forward to seeing the growth of it over the years to come. Destiny, thanks for sharing your experience with me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You bet.